Hello, this is H.C. Bailey, and welcome to the final episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy X against Penance himself. So, let's take a look at my setup for the fight here. Obviously, we got the Celestial weapons fully unlocked there, but I've also customized some special armor just for this fight, although I've used it elsewhere too. Basically, Auto Haste, Auto Protect, pretty self-explanatory. Auto Potion, really going to help us keep up with damage so I don't have to spend time healing. Defense plus 20 to make some attacks more survivable, or survivable at all. Got everyone's overdrive gauge filled up here, set to Comrade Overdrive mode, and I've also got a bunch of items at the top of my inventory, pretty much for mixing. You should have gotten them all from capturing all the monsters there. Got 3 stars, which eventually I do want to actually use during the fight there. And we've also got X potions for using auto potion there. You could also use regular potions and high potions with trio of 9,999, but I don't think that's necessary. I think this is probably the simpler way of taking care of that. Obviously, sell all your potions and high potions. Then talk to Cid, go to Penance on the map. Somewhere in the Calmlands, I guess. I wonder what he was doing there anyway. Why this guy can't defeat Sin, I don't know. A lot of people were asking that, like, with all the creations that are more powerful than Sin. It's like, why doesn't that monster trainer go after and kill Sin if he's got these monsters that are just as powerful or more powerful or something like that? So, I don't know. His face looks kind of familiar. I heard in other translations his name is Der Richter, meaning the judge. But anyway, okay, so this is Penance. He's got the main body there that has millions of HP. Got the right arm and the left arm there. And we got to keep the both arms down, because otherwise they can deal nasty status ailments to you. Now, I like using attack reels when one of the arms is up, at least. Because, well, you can deal pretty good damage to both of them. Or even if there's only one, I'd use that too. So what I want to do is, once you do that, then we want to get Eccentric up here with Monotonic and Gambler's Spirit. That will give us a double overdrive, effectively, in addition to our triple overdrive. But now, I see that the other arm is actually going to get its turn first there. So I think I want to kill that one first, so it can't get any attacks in on us there. So anyway, once Penance gets his turn, well, he's going to use that. And with double and triple overdrive going now, we can survive the attack there and get our overdrives filled up all the way there. And with X potions and auto potion, we can survive that too. Or, I mean, we can heal without having to stop to get our turns again. So let's use another attack reels, try and take down at least one of the arms. I'd rather not kill both of them at once if I can help it. Nuts. Okay, well, it's not the end of the world. That's what Sin is for. Now, but, well, the reason why I don't want both of his arms up at the same time is because of something that happens later on in the fight. But anyway, I'm using a 3 stars there to, well, reduce all our MP costs to 0. That'll help us, again, later on in the fight. And also Ultra Null All to make another attack of his survivable, again, later on in the fight. I figured let's just do it now, get it over and done with. Get all the buffs out of the way. So yeah, Obliteration, survivable. So yeah, I mean, between Ultra Null All and Defense plus 20, we can survive any of his attacks without break HP limit against him. And then X potions will take care of any healing that we need there. And then we just pretty much go with Quick Hit. Now you notice he's got that little shield there whenever I attack him. That's because he has auto protect, but we can't dispel it. Now I'm also using Hotspurs here which is overdrive times 1.5, and all these overdrive abilities stack with each other. And the reason why I want all three of them together is so that way later on he has an attack that won't quite fill up our overdrive. But with all three of them together, it will fill up my overdrive gauge. So anyway, after a certain period of time, the arms will automatically revive. So what I want to do is get them out of sync, so that way they're not both being revived at the same time. The reason is because later on in the fight, when Penance gets his turn and goes into pissy boss mode, if both the arms are there, he will kill you. So, yeah, you don't want the arms to be there, not just for their attacks, but for Penance himself. So get a good attack reels there, and then some quick hits. And I don't think we need another attack reels to take out the arm here. So we'll just save that overdrive for later there. And then just go all out. Not really worried about auto protect with quick hits because, well, we just ignore defense anyway. It's only overdrives that would have a problem with that. Because, well, obviously overdrives, they don't ignore defense there. Now, as for Tidus, I don't really like using his overdrives during this fight very much. Only in, like, extreme situations. But for the most part, it just doesn't deal enough damage compared to how efficient quick hit is. Especially in this first phase. Maybe the second phase I might do it a little more. But in this part, nah, totally not worth it. And it's not even worthwhile to use Entrust here either. Yeah, part of the reason why I use overdrives and Entrust the way I do is because of the wait time or recharge time or whatever the technical term is for all that stuff. From what I understand, there's somewhat of a rank system for each ability that determines how long you have to wait for you to get your next turn. And it's all proportional to each other. So, well, it's directly proportional to how quickly you get your turn. So, like Slice and Dice or Attack Reels, those are both rank 4 actions. But Quick Hit, at least in the HD version here, is a rank 2 action. So I can get in 2 quick hits for every 1 attack reels. Or Slice and Dice there. That's also why I like using Slice and Dice over Blitz Ace, which is a much higher rank action. So yeah, quick hit, pretty much the way to go. Yeah, actually I was thinking, yeah, in the original version of the game, Quick Hit is a rank 1 action, but then they realized, whoops, that's way too powerful. Let's tone it down a little bit. Increase the MP cost. Although now that doesn't matter because we've got 3 stars on everyone here. Part of the way this strategy is designed is to prevent anyone from dying ever, because, well, we don't have Auto Phoenix, but we don't need it. In this way, all of our buffs will always stay on everyone, so that way we don't have to rebuff later on in the fight. Or spend more resources, or more overdrives there, whatnot. Yeah, whenever you see an arm get revived, that's your signal to use attack reels. Now, the way I like to take on Penance is to use attack reels on one arm at a time there. to keep the two out of sync there with Penance himself. There is a slightly faster strategy where you could wait for both arms to be revived and try to kill them both at the same time with like attack reels, slice and dice, things like that. And because there's two arms for attack reels to potentially hit, you're more likely to have less hits that get wasted on the body of Penance himself, since they're not going to deal that much damage to them. Because, like, quick hits here, or not quick hits, attack reels, might as well be quick hits. Attack reels deals 12 hits. So if there's Penance in the arm there, well, that's, on average, that's going to be about 6 each. All right, got it. But yeah, if you had the two arms there, then it'd probably be like 4 to each arm, so that's 8 hits, or only 4 hits that get wasted. So it's a little more efficient that way, but I think it's a bit more dangerous there, too. So now we're in the second and final phase of this fight. And I just cast a spell on Penance because once he goes into the second phase, then he's got auto haste on himself. But you can dispel that, unlike the protect that was on him in the first fight for some reason. Now he has a new attack, Immolation, which, well, deals a lot of damage, so that's where you really need Ultra Null in order to survive. I mean, Obliteration, you could probably survive without that as long as you got defense plus 20%. But Immolation, that's a different breed of cat altogether. So you got that. So you got defense plus 20, auto protect, Ultra Null, you're in pretty good shape there. Now the thing with Immolation as opposed to what was that? Obliteration is that Immolation can inflict full break on. In fact, it will every time. So eventually, what I want to do is, well, now let's get the spell going on us. Yeah, because his turn is going to be coming up there. Yeah, you want to dispel it, or dispel full break before Penance gets another turn, essentially. Usually, you probably want to do that immediately. I kind of forgot there because I was rambling here. But, I mean, you can afford to wait if it means killing an arm faster and keeping them out of sync with Penance there. And, yeah, taking out the arms, absolute top priority there. The other thing with Immolation is that, well, obviously all your Celestial weapons have triple overdrive on them, right? And we used, what was that one called? Eccentric to give us double overdrive, right? The problem is, with just those two alone, Immolation won't quite fill up your overdrive gauge all the way. So that's why I like using Hot Spurs, so that way I can use attack reels more often on each of the arms. So basically, that's pretty much how the rest of the fight's gonna go. Attack reels, kill an arm. He gets a turn, fills up my overdrive gauge. Attack reels, kill the other arm, use Dispel somewhere in the middle there to get rid of full break before he gets his next turn, or else he can kill you with another Immolation there. So, yeah, I think it's safer just to keep the arms out of sync there instead of risking them reviving at the wrong time, because I've had that happen to me before when I was trying to play it a little risky, trying to kill both arms at the same time, even if it is a little faster that way. Because, like, what can happen is, okay, his turn's coming up, the arms aren't there, they're not there, and then all of a sudden his turn comes up, oh, hey, I'm going to bring my arms back and cast Judgment Day, or whatever that attack is that can wipe out your party. Now, of course, you could use, like, Auto Life to protect against that. But then you'd have to rebuff all over again. I'd really rather not have to do that. So I'd rather take it easy, just kill the arms one at a time there like that. And we should be good. So yeah, this is pretty much going to be what the rest of the fight is about. He doesn't really have a huge variety in his attacks. I thought I heard Immolation was supposed to be able to inflict a curse status on you, but for some reason that doesn't seem to be the case for me. I mean, I could be totally wrong on that. I don't know. Maybe it's one of the arms abilities. Because I know they got a bunch of nasty status ailments, which is another reason why you want to keep them down. Not just to keep him from using Judgment Day, but to prevent them from hurting you too, so you waste time doing that. Unfortunately, his second form here has 9 million HP. In addition to the 3 million HP that the rest of the fight took, or the first phase of the fight took. But now he doesn't have auto protect either, so we should still be in pretty good shape there. Yeah, just take out the arm. Phew! Barely got that one down in time. I hate for the other arm to revive. Way wrong time. Oh yeah, another thing. You might notice, Immolation kills all your MP. But that's one of the reasons why I like using the 3 stars item. Because that way everything costs 0. I don't have to waste time using a Mega Elixir or an Ether or whatever means of recovering MP you want to use there. So let's take care of that full break there. And now we don't have attack reels to help take out the arm there. So, you know what, let's give Slice and Dice a go. Woohoo! First try, not bad. Hopefully 3 of the hits will hit the arm. Ew, that didn't work well at all. Would have been better off just using 2 quick hits. Oh well. But yeah, that is the problem when Waka gets hit with Immolation, because then we can't refill his overdrive to use another attack reels, and you'd be better off using a bunch of quick hits instead of using Entrust and then another attack reels there. Not that it was a big deal here, but you know, if they get auto revived at the wrong time, yeah, that could be a problem. So anyway, as long as, well, we're taking a while to kill this guy, thought I'd talk a little bit about the post-game while we're waiting for him to sit around and die there. I mean, this is pretty much going to be the rest of the fight there. Do another attack reels. But yeah, even though this technically isn't really what we call modern post-game, like you beat the final boss, you make a save file, and then you do stuff that you can only access after defeating the final boss. Well, obviously that's not the case here. But it's still, I mean, stuff that's way more powerful than the final boss, so it might as well be post-game. But yeah, someone was asking me, H.C. Bailey, how do these guys all fit into the plot and stuff? And I'll be honest, I don't know. At least to my knowledge, I don't think there's anything in-game about them. I thought I heard somewhere someone saying that, like, Yevon sent them or something to capture us after we escaped from the Val there. Because I think that's when the Dark Aeons can first show up. I think they can show up before you get the airship. I forget. Like, if you go back to the Thunder Plains, there's obviously Dark Ixion there, but I forget if he shows up there or not at the time. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't know where these guys all show up. My guess is that this was all stuff that they like were thinking about putting into the game originally, but then, you know, they had to meet a deadline, get the game out before Christmas or whenever it came out, and they just decided, well, okay, we'll just do what we can here, and we'll add it to like another international version of the game, which they've done before. I mean, obviously they did that with Final Fantasy VII, with like the weapons and stuff like that. Although in this case, we didn't get the international we didn't get the international content originally, while in 7 we did for some reason. You gotta focus on those attack reels there. Make sure I can do them all correctly there. So yeah, my guess is you're probably not meant to really think too hard about the plot of any of this sort of post-game content. It's probably just stuff they added to throw in there just to say, hey, here's some stuff that we didn't get to put in there the first time, so here's a little extra something to sweeten the deal, to get you guys to buy the game again or something. So, I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's not extraordinary, obviously, but well, it's better than nothing. I mean, better than just a full straight port without all this international content. But in general, I'm not a huge fan of the post-game here. Because really, I think a big part of the problem with the post-game is, well, there's two things. One, there's obviously all the grinding that you gotta do. Like with all the monster capturing and you know, the stats that you need to have in order to kill some of the bosses. I mean, okay, yeah, I was overpowered for a lot of them, but a lot of them you do need to have all these stats. I mean, if I'm dealing like 25,000 damage every time I'm doing a hit here, this fight's gonna take me hours to do. I mean, you gotta have those stats in order to kill some of these bosses within a reasonable amount of time there. But I think more than that is that, like, all these well, not all of them, but most of these bosses have perfect status immunity. So there's really not a whole lot else you can do besides the brute force method. So, I mean, that's really the second problem, is that there's, even after all the grinding, there's really not a whole lot of strategy or anything you can do besides use the brute force method. I mean, I mean, look at what I'm doing here. I mean, it's basically attack reels, quick hits, maybe dispel here and there, and, you know, some overdrives there, but that's pretty much it. I mean, it's not like I have to significantly adapt my strategy over time for all this post-game stuff. I mean, it would have been nice if there were some battles where, like, maybe I could use Provoke or an Armor Break to deal with some of the armored enemies. I mean, yeah, there were a couple species creations where I could do that for, but by the time we got up to anything that had a reasonable amount of HP, I mean, they were pretty much immune to Armor Break by then anyway, so... And even then, the Celestial weapons can bypass a lot of that stuff, too, with Quick Hit there. I mean, when I look at, you know, how I'm going to prepare an LP, or, you know, how I want to limit my party, the thing I mostly look at is, does a particular element or strategy of the game make a lot of other elements and strategies obsolete, like using buffs or debuffs or tanking or something that requires me to change things up every now and then to have a little bit of variety there. And in this case, there's really not a whole lot of options for what I can do. Now that said, what I could have done, and I don't know, perhaps I should have done this, was sort of tailor my party so that I'm powerful enough to kill the bosses in a reasonable period of time, while still giving them enough time to, show off what moves they got and their attacks and stuff like that. And, well, I didn't really think about doing that when I was doing all my test runs and everything for this game. Because really, what I'm looking at, I mean, perhaps in part the entertainment value of, the videos and everything like that, or the walkthrough value, what's replicable for people to do who are watching the videos and stuff like that. I'm mostly looking at what I can do with the party, what is my progression, what engages me, the player, as opposed to just sitting there and hitting X over and over and over and over again like that. I didn't really think about, what the enemies are doing beyond what I need to be protected from. But I didn't think about perhaps the entertainment value of, letting the enemies actually do something instead of one-shotting them, because so many of the other ones were much harder to deal with. So yeah, I mean, when I say that there's really not much I could have done to change my approach, I suppose to clarify what I was saying, I meant that there's not much that the characters, can change about what we do. I mean, it's not like I could use debuffs or more buffs or different overdrives or other things like, I mean, maybe there's a little bit that I could have done a little differently, but I mean, there's really not that many efficient means of dealing 12 million damage here. So, I mean, what I could have done is just now, outside the game, what I could have done is simply not grinded as much, or maybe broken up the grinding into smaller chunks, more so. I mean, I think that might have made some of the area and species creations a little more interesting, because not all of them have perfect status immunity. It's not until you get to, like, the original creations in the Dark Aeons where they're pretty much immune to everything, and you're going to be using the brute force method. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take to kill them. And I don't know, maybe using break HP limit on armors might have helped with that. Because a lot of my strategies were predicated on kill them before they can kill me. Which, in some instances, you kind of have to do when you've only got 9,999 HP. But I thought that was simply the more efficient way to go, instead of grinding up HP in addition to all the other stats we got. Oh yeah, speaking of stat grinding, I found out about the luck stat there, particularly with Dark Mindy there. Apparently, there was part of the hit percentage or accuracy formula that I just didn't understand there. So, in order to hit Mindy, I would need well over 200 luck in order to guarantee my hit percentage against her. And, well, obviously, I'm not going to grind my luck that far. So, yeah, chances are the amount of luck that I would have really wanted to have, probably around 114, 130, which is about where I am. So yeah, if I really wanted to, I could have grinded out my luck to max out my hit percentage and even my crit percentage too. Like you saw with Slice and Dice there, it was critting on every single hit there. Normally it deals like 25,000. But here it was dealing like 50,000 because I can crit with that. Attack reels cannot crit, though. Only slice and dice, or at least between the two of them. I don't know much about the other overdrives there. And don't worry, viewers, this fight is not Yasma. This isn't going to take hours. This is probably about a half hour, 40-minute fight tops here. Still certainly way too long for my taste there. I prefer my boss fights to be like 3, maybe 5 minutes. So I mean, pretty much at this point, it's just rinse and repeat. I haven't altered my strategy in the last 10 or 15 minutes. And even if you have some AI scripts that can, you know, adapt or change or have some randomness to it, I mean, you just can't keep that up forever. I mean, sooner or later, the pattern is going to emerge, and it's just repetition at that point, like it is here. Though I heard in the international version of Final Fantasy XII, you could kill Yasma in like 5 minutes or something ridiculously fast like that, because the damage limit was greatly increased there. That would be nice. I hope we get Final Fantasy XII International. I mean, well, let me rephrase it. I hope they make it so that we can get it, because at least to my knowledge, they haven't even made it or said anything about that yet. I thought I heard they were saying, like, they were thinking about Final Fantasy XII HD, but they wanted to see how the sales of Final Fantasy X HD worked out, so I'd like to see that. Really, the reason why I'd like to see Final Fantasy XII HD is just to uncompress all the music and the voice acting. That's really the big thing for me. I mean, yeah, I heard they got, like, job classes and stuff like that. And they changed up, like how the chests work and all that stuff, and Zodiac Sphere, or Spear, and all that stuff. Been thinking about spheres for too long. But yeah, I mean, I could totally go for that. Even though Final Fantasy XII isn't my favorite game, of course. But yeah, I heard they had to, like, really do a lot of compression in Final Fantasy XII. I've actually heard some of the music in the game without the compression, and oh man, it's night and day. And some of the music I really like already to begin with, but if it's uncompressed, whoa, holy cow. There's just so much more depth to it. So yeah, that's something I'd really look forward to. This is gonna hurt. Ow. Yeah, it would have been nice if they put some plot to the post-game stuff here. Maybe have that being something that has to do with Micah or something like that. Like, Micah's really pissed off at us, so he's sending all these summoners with dark aeons or dark magic or something or other. Made a pact with the devil or something, and I don't know. Sold his soul, or, no, not his soul, his, what are they called? Fireflies! Turning into Soul Blazer here. I'll give you the lives of the people for, dark magic or something. Yeah, really what I look for in post-game content is pretty similar to what I look for in side quests of JRPGs, like some more background or character development, some really, really awesome equipment that we can earn, which a lot of it we do. I mean, it's not exactly in the traditional way, where it's like you fight a boss and then you get equipment for defeating them, or do a side quest and you get equipment for completing that or something. But still, I mean, at least the equipment's really good. But I guess in general, I'm just not a huge fan of post-game content. I mean, Dragon Quest IV DS is probably like the only game that I really like the post-game content for. So for the most part, when I beat the final boss, I feel like I should have beaten the game. The final boss should be the hardest enemy in the game. You shouldn't have the final boss and then have all these guys that are tougher than the final boss, but they just sat on their ass and did nothing the whole game to help you out, or to kill him, or yeah, that guy's taking over the world, but I don't care, or something like that. Kind of like a Dragon Quest II sort of thing, where the Dragon Lord's grandson is annoyed that Hargon is going to take over the world before he does. But yeah, I mean, it's not just plot-wise, but well, anyway. But yeah, that was the thing with Dragon Quest IV that I liked, was it really went into a lot more background with Sorrow and everything like that. Had some fun boss fights there. Granted, I made myself way overpowered in that LP. But even then, I mean, it forced you to mix it up, and they have fairly complex AI scripts. I mean, certainly way more complex than we got here with Penance, using the same attack over and over again, and the revivals and all that stuff. And the Angel's Leotard. Oh, baby. Love that one. It's a great example of how to do post-game equipment to make you really feel like you're actually earning something there. And of course, getting revenge on the real bad guy was a nice touch there too. Maybe have like an optional super boss with Micah summoning Penance or something like that. Get revenge for throwing us in jail or something. So yeah, really that's just what I look for. You know, a little more background development, some interesting boss fights, maybe some puzzles to solve, and some really good equipment. And yeah, I think that's reasonable. But yeah, got him, finally. But yeah, in general, I'm not a huge fan of post-game content. I mean, if you're gonna do something like that, just make it a side quest in the game. And don't make them more powerful than the final boss. That's just silly. But alright, got him. And what do we get for defeating Penance? A trophy! And some dark matters, and master spheres, and that's about it. So yeah, that's pretty much everything we can do with Penance there. No real rewards, just kind of there for the challenge, I guess. So that's all for Let's Play Final Fantasy X. I hope you've enjoyed it. Sorry it took me so long to crank this one out, not to mention get around to it to begin with, but, well, I think it was worth the wait, and good to get that done. So, what am I going to do now? I mean, this is the last Final Fantasy game for me to LP, at least in the main series. I mean, besides the MMOs, obviously. I mean, that's kind of what I've been doing for my videos for the last several years. Just, well, not only Final Fantasy games, but I mean, that's kind of been my thing. What do I do now with my life? Oh, well, I mean, I just play more video games, I guess. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I've got plenty of plans in store for you guys. Lots of JRPGs that I still haven't gotten around to. Yeah, I've got another LP all set up and ready to go. Already did my test runs for that. So I'm going to get started on that in the near future then. See you next Let's Play, viewers. This is H.C. Bailey, signing off. Have a good day.